Oh, this is a pleasure too. It's such a pleasure in a quiet room like this. Sometimes the settings are just crazy.
I thought maybe you like the settings of the racetrack more.
Oh man, no, I wish. The noise is just
this is little microphones too.
Too much.
You got a cool setup.
Yeah, this will do all the audio.
I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, pretty slick, but we're rolling. Yeah, I'll just do a quick intro. Welcome to this week's show, the Crazy Gentleman Podcast. I'm your host, the Crazy Gentleman. This week's show is brought to you by BareKnucklePerformance.com, home of all of the highest quality aftermarket parts for your Harley Davidson, Sportsters, FXRs, Dynas, Softails, Baggers, and Choppers. And also brought to you by Simbita Custom Knives, SimbitaCustomKnives.com, Simbita_custom_knives on Instagram for the highest quality outdoor hunting and cutlery knives. Tell Evan I sent you. And get your orders in now before hunting season or before barbecue season's over. Summer's coming to an end, man. Get a cool knife. Show it off to your friends at that next barbecue. Also brought to you by Lexan-Moto.com for all of the highest quality audio devices while you're riding inside your helmet. And don't forget to punch in the code word CRAZY for 15% off at checkout. And the BumpShopBackroom.com for all of your Crazy Gentleman merch. It's the only place you could go right now to get it. And also don't forget to check out my friend Rodney's clothing and coffee company while you're there. And thank you to my producer, Whiskey Eye. This all couldn't be possible without her. And on to today's show. The man behind Ukes Harley Davidson in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The man, the myth, the legend, the legendary racer, and Harley Davidson collector, Keith. Is that a good intro?
Not too bad.
Not too shabby.
Not too
man,
bad.
You want to introduce yourself a little?
I'm Keith Ulicki. My father started this business in April 1st, 1930. He bought it from an existing dealer in Kenosha, Wisconsin for $250.
No way.
And here we are today. We're 93 years old. And also, which this is hard to believe, but my mom and dad never drove a car, and we never had a family car. We only got around by motorcycles.
Really?
In Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yes.
In the winter?
In the winter. We had either a sidecar on the side, and I have one brother and one sister, so it was three of us would be in a sidecar, and my mom and dad would be on the motorcycle.
So did you guys all come home from the hospital in Harley Davidsons also?
Let's see. I was born March 17th in the wintertime.
Wow.
A sidecar. Or we had a box on the van, a box on the side of the motorcycle that we call the van. It's not like the minivans everybody thinks now. We had a van, which basically was an open box. And that van would, when Harley made the motorcycles in Milwaukee, he would pick up bikes in that van or parts and bring them back home. And
wow.
Because there was no UPS back there, and the Harleys, they weren't crated, so he went and picked them up and drove them back, got them back in the van.
So cool.
Yeah.
Went right to the factory, got them direct.
Yeah. Well, because that's where you did it. You know, they built them there, they test drove them there, and then you picked them up right at Juneau Avenue.
That is so cool. Yeah. What year did they stop doing that in?
They stopped producing bikes sometime when AMF started taking over. So it's got to be, this is guessing, the late 60s. 66, 67 or something, and they moved it to York, Pennsylvania.
Wild.
Yeah.
I think you were even able, like me as a consumer, if I bought a new bike, I think up until like around the early 2000s, I could go to York and pick up my bike also, right?
If you bought it through the dealer and had it set up, yes, you could at one time. You could pick up your bike in York, correct?
Yeah.
But that went away a long time ago.
Am I wrong with the 2000s? Was it gone way before that?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I know that. I don't know. You know, time flies. The older you get, the more it flies. You know.
Yeah.
So no, I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah. I graduated high school in 2001, and I remember just like dreaming of having a Harley Davidson back then, and always hearing from the older guys that you could go to the factory still
and pick it up.
But I don't know. I got my first Harley in like 04. So I don't. It wasn't new, obviously, back then. But Yeah, I always remember just dreaming of going to the factory to get
There's
the bike,
like
you know?
it. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love touring a factory, you know, to go and see the bikes being made and all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome.
I did, I bought a 2020 Lowrider S, brand new, and I did, I guess, I'll call it a poor man version of that. A friend of mine is a manager at a dealer at Riding High Harley. So I flew to North Carolina and rode the bike home. That was the closest I'll ever get, I guess. But yeah, when was your first Harley? Do you remember? Must have been a young kid.
Well, the first Harley I rode was a topper scooter. Harley made scooters, and my dad and I were out riding, and the Air Force was going to make a huge air base in Kenosha County. They abandoned it, but they started with the gravel, the bedding for the runway and all that, and they closed off a lot of streets, but they were still in good shape. So my dad, I was 12 years old, and he goes, "Here, take the scooter down there and come back." So that was my first solo ride on a Harley Davidson, was at 12.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, and basically Harley never had small bikes, so I mean, that was pretty cool back then.
Yeah. Must have felt like you were on top of the world.
I was. So that was the early 60s, the topper scooter was. And it it was actually a pull start, no shifting, and was just turn the throttle. Get balance, turn the throttle.
You could have raced today out here with it.
You know,
I think that qualifies for the rules.
I think it would have been awesome to race out here and strip down all the body work, and it would have been out there. I would have beat these guys. Yeah.
For everyone that doesn't know, as right now, the day we're recording is the War Run 7 is going on outside. What did you think when they approached you to do the War Run here?
Well, actually, I was excited.
Okay.
Because they were looking for spots, and everybody was turning them down.
Yeah.
And I heard about it. I go, come here. We have the space.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our fourth location. The last location we moved out of, we got landlocked. So I said, if we ever build again or buy enough land, we'll buy enough land so we'll never get landlocked. We'll do whatever we want. If we need to add on, want to do a little racetrack or anything, this is where
you could do a bunch of shows out back. You got it. Yeah,
we got the space.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's just, that's why we did it.
Yeah.
We've been born and raised in this enough, and we know what we should do and what we shouldn't do.
Yeah. So what's the history of this dealer? You said this is the third or fourth location?
Yeah, fourth location.
The fourth location. Where did the original one start?
We'll walk around. I'll show you the pictures.
Okay.
So my dad, like I said, my dad actually this is in some strange thing. It kind of was foolish for him to do it because 1930 was a height of depression.
Yeah.
He's a farm boy, and Simmons Bed Company was in Kenosha. He had a good factory job during the Depression, making money, right? But his passion was Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
So when he got done working, he would always go to Harley shop and hang around. So one day the owner goes, Frank, that's my dad's name, why don't you buy me out? My dad goes, they're not going to approve me a Harley Davidson. I'm a 21-year-old kid, punk kid. They ain't going to let me do it. So they drove up to Milwaukee in the morning, and they met with Arthur Davidson. And
the original owner, the guy who started Harley.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Went up to Arthur, and then Arthur goes, "You guys go to lunch, and when you guys come back, I'll tell you if you can buy it or not." Obviously, he said, "You, Frank, you can buy the dealership." So my dad bought it.
Did Arthur Davidson at that, right then and there, name that price of $250?
No, it was the owner. I'm sorry, he bought an existing dealer already in Kenosha.
Oh,
so
okay.
Existing owner sold it to my dad.
Okay,
yeah.
I gotcha.
So the first day of business, April 1st, 1930, right? Quits the factory job. You know, people in the background, you see a dollar bill like in a restaurant or that's first dollar, right?
Yeah.
My dad took in 4 cents.
Wow. What was it, like a shirt at the time?
Not the profit, a bolt.
Wow.
Sold a bolt for 4 cents. That was his intake. So if you go up in a museum, we have a 1930 Harley up there, and we have like a wood wall that goes up. You see pennies. People put 4 cents.
Really?
Yeah, at what my dad
on the
said.
Wall with the gas tanks? Is it that wall?
It's just beyond it. It's
okay.
the next wall back.
Okay.
Yeah, where the 1930 is.
Okay. Yeah, I think what's that? A glass case right next to that bike,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
I wanted to just show what Harley looked like when my dad started a business in 1930.
Amazing, man. Yeah, you guys got some cool bikes up there. What I like you got up there is a bunch of Buells.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. This is a rare one.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. We're jumping ahead of time a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have to also. So my dad and my mother was the oldest sibling in their family. My dad eloped on a Harley Davidson. A Friday night, they went to Dubuque, did actually a road run on the way back from getting married in Dubuque, Iowa. They came back.
That is awesome. That is awesome, man.
So during World War II, my dad went to war. My mom ran the dealership.
Wow.
So my mom rode the bikes, and my dad rode the bike.
Did your dad get an opportunity while serving overseas to ride the Harleys for the military also?
Okay. They never put you in what you're the best at.
Right.
I mean, he was the best rider and the best mechanic, right?
Yep.
Put him Army tank driver.
Oh, no way.
He drove Army tanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what my grandfather did.
Really?
Yeah, and he was a tank mechanic too.
Okay.
But yeah.
Battle balls, my dad was.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was I should say, for a military, at that time, he was old. He was not a young chicken like they are now. Okay. Yeah, not a young person at all.
Wow. Was he forced into the draft, or did he sign up?
I never was clear. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never was clear on that.
Yeah.
But he went. And like I said, then my mom ran the dealership.
Right. Wow, and then when he got back, I guess it was just life back at the dealer, right? Just jumped right back in.
Right.
Cool.
But when my dad bought the dealership, his territory was Kenosha and also Waukegan, which is about 19 miles south here. Mm-hmm. He put his brother in as a sub-dealer, so he ran a dealership. His other brother, Pete, Harley hired him away from my dad, worked in R&D.
Oh, wow.
So my brother worked at Harley, retired from Harley. Now I have a niece working at Harley. So I have a standing joke that we have more Ulickis working at Harley than Davidsons.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing how tied in you guys are to the company and all that.
That is in our DNA.
Yeah, it really is.
In our DNA.
Do you have kids that'll eventually step into all this?
Who knows? But yeah, we have a daughter here.
Okay.
A son-in-law that works here. We got.
Your daughter would be Brenda, the one who I had originally started communicating with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So when you were younger, you had said you were a professional racer for or sponsored for a Harley.
Yes.
How'd that all start?
Well.
What was your first race bike they put you on?
It started with a bicycle.
Okay.
When I always wanted to be a motorcycle racer.
Yeah.
So the second location we're actually in a residential area. Actually, the dealership was down below, and we actually lived above it, the dealership. So we had sidewalks. So I raced my bicycle on the sidewalk. But my mom got mad at me because
we got motion sensor here?
Yeah.
I'll walk around quick.
Yeah. There you go. So I would race my bicycle on the sidewalk, and my mom got mad at me because I always would wear out my left shoe. So I put my left shoe. My right shoe would look brand new, but my left shoe would be like down to the bottom. My toes would be sticking out. So no, I always wanted to be a motorcycle racer. That was just in my DNA, like I said, my blood. So I started sportsman racing first back in the early '60s. Raced scramble tracks, hill climb, we ice raced, did everything. So at that time you had to be 18 to go pro, and when I turned 18, I went pro then.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you start off as a novice, work your way as a junior, and then expert. You are. That's the grand.
Is this going to be the next generation here?
Yeah, that's TK. Hang on, we're doing an interview on TV. No. So
you're gonna be on YouTube now, man. So you went pro right out of the gate.
Yeah, as soon as I turned 18. That's all I want to do. So I worked my way through. In fact, the first big bike I rode was a KR. At that time, I only rode a Sprint.
Cool.
So big bike I rode a KR on the racetrack, and then obviously the XRs. That was my life.
The whole rest of your career, you were on XR 750?
Yes, and Harley sponsored me on that.
Awesome. Did you ever think that those things would be as collectible as they are now? They were probably a dime a dozen on the racetrack back then, right?
Well, yeah, the first XR, I believe, what cost $2,795.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like what a set of heads for those things cost now.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the best Harley I ever had.
Yeah. Do you still own one?
Yeah, it's up there in the museum.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
Is that all your personal collection up there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And why? Okay, that's the story. Let's get back to the Buell.
Yep.
Okay, so how I got to know Eric Buell very well. We had the store we just moved out of. We had a dyno.
Yeah.
Eric Buell was building his road race bike, the RW 750. He needed a dyno. So I would work on my XR at night, he'd bring his bike over and dyno it. So we were like this, Eric and I.
Wow.
So Eric later on, put the XR 1000 engine in, and then he puts a Sportster engine in. And it took a while before we took on Buell, because at that time that bike was, I think, like $12,000 or $14,000, and our dealership, I thought, could not accept a bike like that, because basically we had a one light bulb in the showroom, and that's about it. And I said, I can't really do this until we really get our showroom fancy enough to accept a bike like that.
Right.
And so Eric kept on trying to get me to sell a bike. And I said, okay, you know what? Just come on down, go over to the dealership, and I'll take it for a ride, and we'll see how it works, right? So Eric comes down, and he goes, okay, jump on bike. So usually, being always racing, I always used to wear a full face helmet. I always wear a coat to go riding. So I figured, okay, I'm just going to please him. So I'm just going to ride it around the block, and I go, okay, Eric, this nice bike, thank you, and I just can't sell it right now.
Right.
So our dealership was on a 4-lane road. Soon as I got across the medium, I go, this is unbelievable. I cannot believe how good this bike is. I go, this is by far the best road bike I rode in my life.
Did it look like a tube frame like the Lightnings? Was it
No,
similar to?
It was a closed body. I'll show you one up there.
Okay.
It was a closed body one I rode.
Okay.
It's our 1200.
Okay.
Closed body, and jumped on it. I go, oh, shit, this is unreal. So I take it out, and I'm going maybe like 40 miles, 50 miles an hour. I'm doing 120. It was so stable, and so I'm throwing, what the hell am I doing? I have no helmet on, no nothing, but it was so much fun that I come back, I go, Eric, I got to sell these things. Wow. I have to sell these things. And there for a while, we were the #1 dealer in the world. We sold
many Buells.
Yeah, we sold 1 year 76 Buells we sold.
Wow.
Yeah, because my racing background, I couldn't sell them.
Right.
Most Harley people have no idea what it was, and what were bike handles, and how should brakes, how should do this, I could explain the bike.
Right.
And I loved the bike.
He knew, he probably knew at that time he was getting the right guy to test ride that bike. Because like your average dealer owner doesn't have racing history like you, they probably just wouldn't have got it, you know.
That's why I have all the views.
That's so cool.
And also, my dad and myself believed a lot in Eric, and we didn't make a lot of money back then when Buell was starting to take off. And Eric actually would come over and he goes, can you buy this Buell for me? I got to make payroll today.
Wow.
And we would buy. My dad would actually buy the bike so he could make payroll.
Wow.
Yeah, and that happened. That's why I have so many rare bikes up there. I had the #3 bike that he ever built, but I was foolish enough to sell it. So, but I have number 12, but I wish I never had sold #3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He sold his college education, man.
Yeah, now you gotta earn it. But yeah, that's why I got so many.
Wow, so you're still friends with Eric Buell?
Yeah, I haven't seen him really since I was so depressed when Harley pulled the plug on that. I felt so sorry for him, man.
Yeah.
It's just to me, he's a genius as an engineer, motorcycle engineer, a genius, a real genius. Yeah. And it was heartbreaking when that took place.
Yeah, I agree. I love the Buells, and the other main bike, kind of what everyone knows me for, is I'm an FXR guy.
Oh my God.
So Eric Buell, man, he's the guy,
That's why.
Yeah.
That is the best handling. I don't want to say a sport, but the sport Harley ever had was FXR.
Yeah.
That chassis.
I love them.
I love FXR.
Yeah, I still got a bunch of them.
In fact, I think the first FXR I ever rode was actually on Harley's test track in York.
Really?
Yeah.
When at the time, were you just blown away as soon as you got on one?
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal right away on that deal. Unreal. And then I find out here's Eric's working on it. You know, and he worked on the FXRT also, and that's what the fairing and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So as soon as the FXR came out, did you have to have one for yourself too?
God, I had one. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm thinking when did I do that? Because '82 they came out in the shovel.
Yeah.
I think it probably was when they had in '84 probably. But I had one. I might have two. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I love that bike. That is by far the best Harley at that time in the sport type chassis. I mean, it still outshines, you know, the FXR. I love that bike.
Yeah, I agree. I told you I had got that 2020 Lowrider S, and I'm very impressed by that. And what I said about that is, I mean, for what it is, I still like the FXR a little better, but like for a factory bike, I don't think until that Lowrider S came out, I don't think Harley made a factory bike as good as the FXR until these new Softails are really nice.
When they went to the chassis single shock, they did a good job on it. Don't get me wrong.
They really knocked it out of the park, man. But I have a Shovel FXR out here that I'm borrowing for the week.
Yeah.
It's still my favorite Harley ever, you know.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I don't know.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah.
I could race that bike.
Yeah.
FXR, I could.
Yeah, absolutely. They're awesome.
In fact, that's why I have the number one also 1125R. I have number one up there.
Wow.
And under the front door, I have number 7 of the first XB series up there. I have number 7.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a lot of low number. In fact, the 12RR, I have 2 of them. I think I have number 3 and number 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the story on that white S1 Lightning up there?
Yeah.
That's if I could pick one of those Buells to have, that's my favorite one of all time. In that color and everything.
It was cool when he came out with that bike, I have to say.
Yeah.
It was cool. But you know, the best Buell I like is the Ulysses.
Okay.
To me, I love Ulysses.
That would sell like hotcakes now with this whole adventure bike market taking off.
To me, that's the number one. To me, that's the bike that I would think that made Eric famous, and here he is for a sports bike. But to me, in my mind, it's the Ulysses. I love that bike. That bike is unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a really cool
one. I still got one.
Oh, really?
So when Harley pulled the plug, I believe it was in '08. They started producing '09s because it was in the fall, and they were producing bikes for the Buell demo fleet. So I ended up getting a 1125R, the S, and a Ulysses. And it was like number 5, 6, and 7 in those categories.
Wow.
Yeah. I've sold the 1125R because I got the number 1, so then I sold that. But yeah, I sold that bike. But I haven't sold any other Buells.
Wow.
Yeah, I love Buells like this.
That's so cool that like you had the opportunity to like get number 1 and like to get all these low number production bikes is really wild.
What took place is that when they did what they call basically a DAC, a Buell DAC, and I was on it the whole life of it, and it was 18 years I was on. So I rode prototype bikes. Wow. When they came out with the B chassis, I rode it 2 years before it came out, and even the couple of different models.
Wow.
And in the 1125R, when I tried out, we were at Mid-Ohio. Had a chance to ride it, had a mechanic and everything, and rode at Mid-Ohio.
Wow.
And that was unbelievable.
What a freaking cool opportunity.
Yeah. And then when they were doing the Ulysses, American Motors had a test track just out here by Burlington, and we were riding it before the production also.
Wow.
Yeah, it was neat.
Man, it must have been so cool even just to hear, I guess, a young Eric Buell talk about this dream of making this this non-traditional Harley engine-based motorcycle at that time, because I know a lot of people called him crazy at the time,
No.
But it must have been so cool to be around in those early days.
He's a genius.
He truly is, man.
Yeah. The stuff he came up with, unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the story with that knucklehead chopper up there?
Oh,
was that one of your old bikes?
No. Actually, I need to. I haven't decided on the color of the paint job. That is a really unique story. My dad sold it to a customer in Racine. I bought it back from him.
Okay.
And it's I got to decide on what color to put it.
Okay.
And that's it. But no, it's only one owner on that.
Wow.
Yeah, and
one owner knucklehead.
Yeah, and I got it back. It was
Wow.
that's cool. I thought I'd get it done before this, but obviously it's not. So I just got to figure out the color I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over all the years, because I mean, you've seen all of these engines from. Let's see. You said the first year you started riding would have been a generator shovel would have been brand new at that time. Well, let's just go all these years, the engines through the years. What's been your favorite engine?
XR 750.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
That race engine.
Come on.
Okay.
I mean, that was the first Harley that I rode that had power.
Yep.
Handled. At first, we really didn't have brakes on those things.
Yeah.
But handling the power to weight ratio is just unbelievable. And let's put it this way. So like I told you, the first big bike I rode was a KR. So then they came out with a cast iron XR, heavy, very heavy, top heavy. It would want to always throw you high side because it was so much top heavy. You had to just sit on top of it and force it down, else you want to make a right turn on going down around the turn. So first time I jumped on the XR 750, when I went on turn 1 and 2, and took it easy. And then I came out on a 4. I go, I'm going to try to turn this on. Let's see what happens, right? So I turned it on. My hands came off the handlebars. I wasn't even holding on tight. I go, holy shit, this thing's fast.
Wow.
Yeah, couldn't believe it actually, because it was just like the bikes I were riding didn't have power like that. I think it took me totally by surprise.
Right.
Didn't have a tight grip on it because I didn't have to. I never had to. Yeah.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, even at that time, like even the fastest of shovel heads couldn't have.
No, nothing.
Couldn't even been in a ballpark of that.
Doesn't even compare.
Yeah, yeah.
And the lightness of it, being all aluminum engine, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's so cool. So cool. What back then, when you were still racing pro, what was your favorite place in the country to race? Which race did you look forward to every year?
What it ended up being was for a mile track, up to, before I tell you what the best one was Indy Mile at night when they really watered it.
Racing under the lights.
Yeah, and they had a lot of water on the track. Awesome track. So that was the best mile until I rode Springfield Mile. That's
the world famous one, man.
That is the best mile track in the world.
Yep.
And why it is most mile racetracks, they're long, long straightaways and tighter turns. Springfield Mile is more like a O, or you're almost elongated O. So it's more like this. So the turns are so wide, so the radius is so big.
Almost like you never straighten out.
Well, you do straighten, but you never have to shut off.
Okay.
If they prepare it right, and in the dirt, when you just to break your speed, you just throw it in the broadside, and that's enough to break your speed, but you never shut off the gas.
Wow.
It's such a cool and lots. There's tracks you can do that, but only in practice.
Okay.
Because then the stuff brushes off to the outside, and you don't have that kind of traction anymore. But Springfield Mile basically stays that way the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah, and then going like 120, 130, and just throw it in the broadside. Awesome. So Springfield Mile by far the best mile ever.
Wow.
The best. And then the half mile, what I liked was Louisville, Kentucky, with a pea gravel track.
Okay.
Same thing a lot of times in practice, wide open all around.
Wow.
Just crossed up, feet up on the pegs. But that was a pea gravel, and that sometimes a lot of times got brushed off and it got slicked then, but then the groove would come back.
Very cool. Okay, just making sure.
Well, we're still doing good.
Yeah, we still got a few minutes. Man, I got so many questions. I guess I don't know. So, you said when you were growing up, no cars. It was all motorcycles. Mm-hmm. Is one of those sidecars or one of the Survey cars up there one of the ones from you growing up?
Thank you. No, thank you for asking. So the Survey car up there,
yeah.
My dad got back from the Kenosha Police Department and he rode it.
Okay.
So also, this is a tip that anybody that goes to a bar and make a bet, when you bet that what is the first electric start motorcycle, a Harley, they also say 1965 Pan.
Right.
That's not true.
Which one was
It's
it?
a 1964 Survey car, and that's the one we have upstairs. It's the first electric start Harley Davidson.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
I did not notice
Yeah,
that.
basically nobody knows. Even anybody at Harley doesn't even know that.
Wow.
So we have the Survey car up there, and then we do have a 65 Pan that my dad rode and ice traced without the body on it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we got two of his bikes up there.
I like how you had the 49 Hydroglide too.
Yeah, I ended up personally got that because that was the first time of a Springer front end was off,
Right.
Hydroglide was on.
When you had first rode your first Hydroglide, were you like just blown away? Did you just think it was the
by the
neatest
time-
thing ever?
No, no, because XR 750 was.
Right.
You know, lately the Harleys are really good. Every Harley is good, way different than they were before. They never had brakes, didn't have power, didn't
Yeah.
handle. Now you get on almost, I don't care, any Harleys, it's awesome.
Truly
And
impressive.
They have really stepped up the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I know everyone says the Evo really revolutionized the company, but man, to me, like once the twin cams came out, post 2000 is when I say Harley really stepped into the future. But these M8s are, I mean, it's just so impressive. The brakes on them and the power they're making.
Okay.
It's so impressive.
Okay, let's get to that.
Yeah.
But why the evolution was so good? Harley put their quality into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Japanese companies made Harley get off their butts, make it stop leaking, make it handle right. So that's the excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Hang on, let me get
The FXST, is that what you were going for? The first Evo Softail?
Any FXR, FXRS, anything.
Yep.
So that's what really put them on the map because Harley had rear chain oilers. So when you stop, it would oil on the ground. Oh, that's leaking. No, it's not leaking. It's basically how it was made.
Right.
But there are leaks. So what put Harley back on the map was the fact of that they put quality in the bike. Mm-hmm. It happened to be an Evolution engine. It doesn't mean that's what we drove it. It's the part that they put quality in it. So now you talk to Milwaukee 8. I drove that before they came out too on the racetrack.
Really?
Yeah. At Black Hawk Farm.
What was your first impression of that?
Oh my God. Could race that bike.
Yeah.
I went out on a racetrack. Good suspension. I could not believe that they finally put a decent pair of forks on it and shocks on it.
Yep.
And the handling was unbelievable. Oh my God, I had so much fun riding that on a racetrack.
Yeah.
I had a ball.
I believe it. Well, that's why you're seeing all these racing series pop up now.
Yeah.
This Bagger Racing
That's
League,
true.
and they got the equipment to really race those bikes now.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to do too much weight, but man, you get rid of one of those things. Oh man, hope it doesn't chase you down. I tell you that.
Oh yeah.
You got to be behind it, not in front of it.
Yeah. And that's why I say that too about that new Lowrider S. I think it's the best bike they've produced since the FXR.
That Lowrider S does handle good.
It's impressive, man.
Yes, it is. It is. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, they really are. Oh, these motion sensors.
TK, where are you?
funny.
We need you to sort of keep the lights moving there. High energy guy.
Yeah.
So I got to tell, we did get a family car.
Okay.
My brother's 4 years older than I am, the one that retired from Harley. Mm-hmm. When he got his driver's license, that's when we got a family car.
Get out.
Yeah.
So he was like the family taxi at that time.
Yeah. So he drove us around it.
Cool.
Yeah. But that's the only time we got a family car.
That is so funny, man. Where was this that you were growing up? Was this in Milwaukee?
No, all in Kenosha.
In Kenosha, okay.
Yeah, born and raised in Kenosha.
Okay.
And like I say, we probably should go on so you can see where my dad started the business. Our second store and then our third store. Can we grab this stuff?
Yeah, we could take a walk right now.
Yeah, because I'm a little run out of time.
But
you know what? We can actually continue even if I close the store.
Okay.
It's just that, let's just stay down here.
Okay.
And then like 5-2 we go. I can check out the store and then we can walk around the store.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Look at the pictures.
Yeah.
And then go upstairs and show you my dad's.
That would be really cool,
location.
man.
So
Awesome.
basically, when my dad bought the dealership,
Yep.
It was basically like a strip mall. On the corner, it was a a liquor store, tavern, restaurant, my auto repair shop, and then his dealership.
Cool.
Yeah. So he basically, first 10 years, he actually slept in a dealership.
Wow. Yeah, you guys said you lived above it,
yeah,
right?
that was our second one.
Okay.
So then when my dad got enough money, so my dad and my mom was the oldest siblings in their family. My dad and my mom eloped on a Harley, went to Dubuque, Iowa. So you couldn't just get married, so they went on a road run on the way back home.
That's so awesome, man. What year was that, you said?
That in a 40.
Wow.
Yeah, 40s. Then he bought the building where the dealership was below, and we lived above it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had said that there was a liquor store and a bar right next to that location.
Yeah.
Did you guys think that helped with sales a little? Did anyone get a little tipsy and kind of buy a bike when they probably shouldn't have?
I don't know. I think the best part was the restaurant, so my dad could eat.
Oh, okay.
Because he was a single guy then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he probably liked the bar next door too.
Yeah. No, he wasn't a drinker, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he probably never went there, but he definitely went to the restaurant. I tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the where he bought the second location was only about a block and a half from there.
Okay.
And it was in a residential area. It was an Italian neighborhood. So we had good Italian food, good Italian grocery store. I mean, she would make raviolis every Tuesday. I mean, it had good ground beef, steak tartare, and all that stuff. It was good. And since my mom and dad never drove a car, they could walk to a grocery store, corner grocery store. I mean, you can't. Do you ever see a corner grocery store now? No. So they never did what they could do, but back then. But they didn't need a car. You know.
Very cool.
In fact. We had a fire in the second location, and then we moved to the third location. My dad's building, that dealership, the third dealership got built just right at Christmas. So he wanted to move the dealership from where we had the fire to the new location. So a guy that hung around the dealership had a pickup truck, and they go, "Hey, Frank, I'll drive. Why don't you put all this stuff in my pickup truck, and we'll take the stuff out there." "Oh, that's okay." So he puts the stuff in there. That's the last time he ever put anything in a pickup truck. He moved a whole dealership with the box on the side of the van. This is between Christmas and New Year's, and he moved the whole dealership.
Jeez.
And back then, they didn't have warm clothes.
Right.
Not at all. Harley had a clothes they called a line Arctic clothing, but it was not very warm.
Right.
Yeah. He moved the whole dealership
Jeez.
with the box.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I bet you that's the only dealer that's ever moved like that.
Probably.
I mean, that's
when
wild.
When it was getting built, I was running my bicycle, and I was racing my bicycle around the poles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy, man.
Yeah.
Did you guys get like Harley Davidson gifts a lot for Christmas and stuff growing up?
No. We lived it.
Yeah. I guess that was just life.
We lived it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, let's end on that note. You could get your stuff together for the close-up meeting.
Okay.
You got plenty of time, and after that, we'll do a little video upstairs, and we'll show people.
Let's go.
You want to go right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hold on. I'm gonna.
Okay.
You don't mind saying that,
No,
right?
no.
Okay, cool. All right. We're back. We're up here in the museum part upstairs of Ukes. All right, Keith. There you go.
So we had our museum before Harley Davidson. So when we opened up our grand opening, Willie G was up in our museum here. He goes, "Hey, I like that polished floor. We should do that." And then
so
we walk into this room. We got a wall full of gas tanks. Goes, "Wow, that's pretty cool too." But we did our thing is better, because if you look at our wall, we did a V of the gas tanks.
Oh yeah.
So we did it as what Harley's famous for, is the V twin engine.
Very cool.
So back in our second dealership, we had a fire. If you look up on the left, you can see some burnt tanks.
Oh yeah.
So that was actually from the fire.
That is cool. Wow. Any of these other tanks, like, are they personal tanks or just kind of?
They're all personal.
Yeah.
This is a personal business.
Yeah.
You know. So this is it. This is our life.
Yeah.
So this actually, if you want to talk this Buell, this is the first Buell that ever had WP forks on.
Wow.
So when Harley Davidson and Buell, they did a lot of testing at Talladega Racetrack. That was their test site. So when this came back from Talladega, again, somebody needed a little bit of money, so we bought this from Eric.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the first Buell that had WP forks on.
Crazy. That is awesome. I see it's got PM brakes. That's another pretty interesting thing.
Yeah. So the bike behind you, like I said, we had right here we had at one time number 3, but this is number 12.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was an enclosed body, and this had the XR 1000 engine in it when he had it.
Was this like I've never seen this before. Is this a production bike at one time?
Yeah, this was his first production bike that he ever built. Because he built the race bike, a 2-stroke 4-cylinder RW 750, and then this was the first production bike he ever built. It's right here. Yeah, RR 1000.
Wild.
And if we want, we can go see the second one. So Harley ran out of XR 1000 engine, so then he put a 1200 in it. So this is the second generation of Buell. And this one, I think I have number 3 and number 5.
Wow. That is just wild, man. You just don't see this anywhere.
Yeah, but like I said, we have a strong relationship with Eric Buell.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Very cool.
If we're on Buells, let's go over to this yellow one.
There's your favorite, the Ulysses.
yeah. I was gonna get that later, but so this M2, Buell gave this to me because I was the #1 salesperson in the world.
Wow.
So this is the only M2 that was yellow, put PM wheels on it. Never had PM, M2 never had PM wheels, and then Eric signed it right there, and then they gave me the Buell.
Wow, that is so cool. So is this would this be considered, like, I've heard of like dealer bikes, like I don't know if I'm calling that right, but like you know like Harley will do like a limited run of dealer bikes, like for like sale, like #1 in sales or whatever. Like, would this be considered one of those?
I guess in some way. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. You're right. They have done that in theirs. So this is my dad's dealership, the first one.
Wow, that is so cool. That's like such one of those classic Harley
so
pictures.
So this is it right here. I mean, this is it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that, like, for that time period, was that a typical size and style dealer?
I would think so. Had to be.
Yeah.
Had to
be.
But you know, back then motorcycles were very popular because cars were so expensive. So I should say, it was a pretty high majority of people rode motorcycles because of that.
Right.
And then in the wintertime, they would put a chassis on the side, no sidecar body, but then would put weights on to hold it down, and that's what they use in the wintertime.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. And at first they actually put chains on some of the tires until it was wrecking the roads too much. So then the chains had to come off.
Right. Yeah. That's wild, man. Like, we're not down south. Like, you get real winter up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Damn.
And then that's what was my dad's helmet, his boots, and all that. So.
Very cool. Yeah, and that's, like you were saying, that old riding equipment was not what we have today.
I know. So this is the second location. This is actually where I was born, and then we had a fire in the early '60s on it. But we lived above it, and the dealership was below. And that was actually basically in the more of an uptown area, and it was all residential area, and I was born and raised there.
That is wild. It does look. It just looks like a house.
Yeah.
It just looks.
Now that place is knocked down. When I drive by there, you look at the little footprint. You can never believe a building was even there.
Right.
You drive by there, and there's a house there, and then this thing's like nothing. It's like, wow.
Crazy.
So.
Was this the Survey car you were talking about?
This is the Survey car.
Wow.
So we did this survey car, and that's nice. So my dad rode until he was 86 years old. The only reason he stopped riding is because he had open heart surgery, and they opened up your chest bone and split your chest apart, and then he lost all his upper body strength. But yeah, he would ride the survey car, or he rode a sidecar job around.
Wow. I took a picture of this one earlier, man. I love this paint job, the black and white.
Yeah. So this was a Kenosha Police Department that my dad sold, and then we got it back.
Awesome. Yeah, this is very cool.
You know, Harley made a golf cart for a while.
Yeah, I've seen several Harley golf carts. I think of all the things they've made, the golf carts and the snowmobiles were the most like, you know, just unexpected thing. You know, like what is Harley doing? You know, of all the silly stuff they've made.
Yeah, when Harley came out, this was the number one. This was the best golf cart made.
Really?
Yeah. Then Yamaha knocked them off, but this was the primo golf cart at that time.
Really?
So what would take place is they would make golf carts in the wintertime, and then that same factory made the snowmobiles.
Really?
Yeah, so that's how they did it. So wintertime.
Where was that factory?
That was at Capitol Drive.
Okay.
That's where basically where the R&D is now.
Okay.
They have sold that building now, but that's where they built them.
Interesting.
So and they had a golf cart track right there. When they would run this thing, and it was just an arm, like you know, up and down.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
A separate little golf cart track.
Yeah. And that's how they did it. So, you know, build that in wintertime, golf cart, and then golf carts winter, snowmobiles in summertime.
Very cool. That is awesome.
So I just want to show people what a 1930 Harley is. And this literature actually survived a fire. I don't know how. But I have actually 1932 literature, $195 for the bike.
Oh my God, those are brand new showroom prices back then?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you know, I was saying about the box, the van stop box. See, they 235.
That is just crazy.
See, so this is basically the van, basically without a lid on it. My dad had, and that's what he had.
That was the family van.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Is it meeting time? You gotta go?
No, let's just stay.
Okay.
They probably want to know if I want to.
This is that one owner
I'm
knucklehead.
upstairs in the museum. What's up?
Oh, what are we gonna do with the people on the back balcony? We're gonna have to.
Oh, they gotta go.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure. All right.
Yeah, no, we gotta go and lock them up.
Okay. All right.
For you guys on YouTube.
Bye.
Yep.
That's yeah.
So out in Burlington, which is probably about 15 miles west here, Nestle Chocolate Company is here, and they also did a festival throughout the years. So this particular one was the 17th anniversary of Chocolate Fest, which happened to be 2003. So I decided to sponsor it since that's a Harley's 100th anniversary. So they said, you know what, you sponsor it, we'll carve out our Harley out of 1,000 pounds of chocolate, and you can have any bike you want. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. I said, okay, I want a Fat Boy. Well, that's not a Fat Boy. The guy came from Pennsylvania. When he was a kid, he fell in love with a 57 Sportster, so he carved out a 57 Sportster.
Dude, this thing's chocolate?
This is all chocolate.
I thought it was wood when I saw it before, and I didn't bother reading any of this, but...
So when the Chocolate Fest was over with, I go, I want it. That's mine, you know? And he goes, no, you can't have it. I go, no.
Just to give you guys an idea how big this thing is, it's like 8 feet long.
I said, no, I want it. He goes, we break up anytime we do. When it's done, we break it up. We can't take the risk of anybody eating it or whatever. I go, I'll sign whatever you want, but I want it. So I come out and finally convince them to have it. So they said, well, it's going to only last about 3 years. Well, this is 20 years now. So we're talking about 03 to 23. You can see it is starting to crack, rear fender's cracking, the brake pedal fell off, and this was full of chocolate bars, candy bars. People did eat those off, but it's still here.
Have you done anything to it? Like
nothing.
This is just a giant chunk of chocolate sitting here.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
1,000 pounds.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. So it's just sitting there.
1,000 pounds is what this weighs?
Yeah. This thing, it was tough to roll it up here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This might be the coolest thing up here.
So when we first got here, you could smell chocolate through this whole dealership. As soon as you walked in, you could smell it.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
So when I was racing XRs all the time,
Yeah.
I wanted a pit bike, but Harley never made a pit bike. So I scaled this down from a 90cc Harley, scaled it down to make it a mini bike.
Wow. This is like the original pit bike.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I had a fender back there, but somebody ripped it off. So, but that was my pit bike. So I scaled down what is called a Z90, and I relaced the wheels, modified the chassis, and I got it down so it was the regular size.
Wow.
What everybody else had, the Hondas, Yamahas, you name it, Suzuki's. But
I'm assuming that's like a homemade exhaust.
Yeah,
And like there's a lot of modification going on here.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So I put it together. Yeah, homemade triple clamps, at the top. Yeah.
Sweet.
But I didn't. Since I rode, I'm a Harley guy. I didn't want to have a Honda in my race truck. Didn't want a Yamaha in my race truck. So, but I still wanted a pit bike.
Right. Right. Cool. There is so much cool stuff here.
So.
There's my favorite S1 Lightning.
Yeah. So also I got to tell you. So these are enthusiasts. If you can see smoke on some of the fronts. So this was in the fire also. So some of these are, well, a lot of them are very unique because it's in the 40s during the wartime. So what Harley would do, they would do enthusiasts every month, and at the end of the year they would bind all the copies. And these are original copies.
Well, I never heard of this enthusiast. Like, was this a monthly thing Harley put out?
Yeah, very strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had never even heard of that.
Yeah.
When did they stop doing that?
I don't know. That went on for years.
Yeah.
I mean, even a kid, it was a paper version of it later, but you can see the smoke, burnt here.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I mean, you could really see it in these white ones. Cool.
So it's got a nice view from up here. So as we go around from left to right, so that's my racing picture there. That's when I raced the XR 750.
Yeah.
The next three pictures are my dad hill climbing, and a third picture of the bike being up in front of him, and he's like his arms are up in the air.
Yeah.
So in hill climbing,
like the bike just got away from him.
No.
That picture?
No. What it is you didn't have to be on a bike. So they measure where the bike is. So if you think that you can't make it up the hill any farther, you throw the bike uphill as much as you can.
Really?
He's got chains on it, and you throw it, and then they measure the distance. And wherever the bike went the farthest, that you won. If you knew you couldn't make it over the hill.
You just give it your last hurrah there.
Yeah, so he actually's thrown it away.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So then that's Indianapolis Mile right there at my south. Doing about 130 right there.
Damn.
And in my mind, like I said, never owned a car, but that's her driving. And the next picture is my dad's first dealership then.
Wow.
And we can walk over more. And then the signs over here, those are all the signs that were been through our years of the business.
Wow. Cool.
What was unique, the number one sign. Sometimes you gotta see it kind of. If you look at where the black part is, it's a little bit different black.
I could see a little outline or something going on there.
So when Harley Davidson bought this out of AMF, that used to say AMF underneath there.
Oh, wow.
We couldn't afford to change the face of the left sign, so we painted it out.
That's funny.
Yeah.
What's the story with that blue panhead down there that guy's looking at right now?
That's actually, what we did is, we have all our new bikes outside in a tent. So we asked people to bring bikes throughout the years to here so we could put it on the showroom floor.
Oh, cool.
So that happened to be a 1965 panhead that he's a volunteer fire department, so he's got the lights on it and that.
Yeah, now that I'm looking, there's another pan, there's another pan.
Yeah.
I think that black and gold bike was at Mama Tried, right?
Yes.
That looks like a crazy custom Street 750.
Yes, yep. So this is funny when you pointing out the pans, because we didn't do this, and I didn't think about it until I was talking to a customer about it. The pan in front is a 63.
Mm-hmm.
Pan in the middle, 64. Pan in back, 65.
Wow.
We didn't even plan on it. The other day, I'm talking to a customer. I go, oh, this is a 63 here. This is a 64. There's a 65. And they go,
awesome.
we never even put them in a row, but it ended up being it. I mean, some freak things that happen. It's like,
yeah, that is so cool. There's an old FXR poster.
Yeah.
Little shovelhead FXR.
Yeah. FXRS, 1982, I believe.
Very
82
cool.
and 83 with the shovel.
Yep. Cool.
So the snowmobile. So this is what my dad rode this bike too. He ice raced it without the body on the side, and I ended up restoring it.
Yeah, just like that bike downstairs too. This is another one of those factory colors that are just
This is gorgeous.
unbelievable.
It was called Hi-Fi Blue, and how they got the depth of the blue, they actually had put silver paint, and then they painted the blue on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's how they got it.
Awesome. Very cool. Man,
Am I
so
racing
much
corner?
cool stuff. Oh, here you go. Is this one of your old racing bikes
Yes.
right here?
Yes.
I'm gonna hit the other side.
Okay.
One of my favorite parts of these 750s, those dual carbs hanging off the side.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, these things are just awesome. And like I was saying before too, man, the values of them now are just it's through the roof.
So that's my leathers, racing leathers.
Oh, cool.
You can see they shrink over the years, so that leather shrinks over the years. That's why I can't fit in them anymore.
Yeah, is that what we're saying?
Yeah. See, get it? So this is racing through the years. Winning Sturgis there. Let's see, ice racing. That was ice racing. So ice racing.
Wow.
So that's racing on ice.
And that's you as a young guy?
Yeah. And then
Same with this one?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then ice racing went up there. That was at Columbus. I beat Booty in the heat race when he was a factory rider. And then I was a Santa Fe champ, which Santa Fe was a short track that was down based in Chicago, Hinsdale, Illinois. Ran every Wednesday night, and that was a famous short track.
Wow. And that looks like it was under the lights also, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. That was every Wednesday night. And then a picture of me and Kenny Roberts, we were junior together.
Wow.
That's actually also Columbus.
Damn. So cool.
So a couple other things. So this is on the 09. So during the Harley 100th anniversary, if you look at the second, going up the second, there's my name right there.
Wow. In amongst all those other names,
Yeah,
where is it? You said the second? Not that you're going to see it on the video, but...
not the second line, one up from the bottom.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Yep.
And then
Cool.
and then my dad's name is Frank Ulicki, and my brother's name is Frank Ulicki. So my brother says that's him. I say no, that's my dad.
Am I saying it right also? Is it Ukes?
Ulicki.
Oh, no, the way the dealer?
Yeah. So how we got my dad, that was my dad's nickname.
Okay.
So when he passed away, to honor him, we changed it to Ukes Harley Davidson. So how that name came around is our last name is Ulicki. So back in the days, they used to call him ukulele. So then from ukulele, it got down to Uke. Most people don't even know my dad's real name.
Okay.
They only know him as Uke.
Huh. Cool.
So that also I'm very proud of because I was telling you that I was on a Buell DAC for 18 years. All the Buells, they gave this to me for all the Buells they ever made.
Wow.
And one they didn't make. This was going to be the next model.
Whoa.
Right here. I sat on a bike, I never rode the bike, but that was going to be the next generation Buell.
That looks very similar to what we're looking at here. Like I noticed the brakes look the same.
It's more, a little more.
There's more body on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at this.
It's closer to that and this, but that was the next Buell.
Wow.
Yeah, and I sat on a prototype, but I never had a chance to ride it.
Wow. That is so awesome. How closely tied you are to the Buell.
Yes, you're right. But it's because the racing in the background again. And then Eric gave that to me also.
Wow, that's the year I was born, 1983.
Ah, there you go. So that's number one, VIN number one.
Wow.
This bike, it's called the Thunderbolt.
Yep.
But this paint gets charged. If there's enough light, you put your hand over it, it glows.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know if you can, yeah. It actually
like it's like a glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
It absorbs light and then it would glow. So this is actually the first S2T. I don't have the bags on it, but this is the first S2T ever made.
Wow. Wild.
Again, it was a deal with, hey, buy a bike from me.
Wild.
Starting to lose my voice a little bit, but I got to show this. This took me a couple of years to figure this out. This is funny. We're just kind of talking just like we are now, coming up to the museum. So I'm looking at this picture. This is the second dealership we're at. That's my dad pointing at us. Some customers. You can see all house residential here, right? So my dad, he was one man band, so he would never let me or my brother come down to the showroom because it was a business. Kids don't belong in the business, right?
Right.
So look at the picture. If you look close inside, in there's 2 kids in there.
Guess what? Shit! In the window.
Yeah. Guess what?
Hold on,
That's myself and my brother. My dad's outside talking to customers, and here we are. We snuck down.
Yeah,
because we had stairs from our house down into the dealership showroom, and there we are. We snuck on the bikes and sat on the bikes.
Wow.
And it took me years. That's like us standing here. I go, holy shit! There's 2 kids there. That's us.
So funny. So as a kid, you didn't even know they were taking that picture.
No.
Wow.
No. We probably would have hightailed it out of there. Because my business is the business. He was very strict business, and I mean that's how he stayed in the business. And so this is actually the fire we had at the dealership.
Wow.
So April 12th, 1960.
Wow.
And that is my dad right there. That was the third dealership.
Cool. That is awesome. I love the lounge area here too.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Harley couches and everything. Do you have Harley couches in your house?
No, I did. I gave it to my son-in-law. So this is
Cool.
this is the van. Maybe
wow.
maybe that
Yeah.
light's kind of screwing things up. So what I'm guessing is he had this in a parade. 1948 they came out with that bike. So the bottom of that box was basically where Kenosha Harley Davidson is. So he raised the bike up so he was in a parade to show the bike off. Because you see paper mache on the fender, on the box, and over the engine guard. So I'm assuming he was in a parade and took this. In the background, that's a neighbor's car.
Wow.
So that was that. He had the box on very different bikes, but this is the bike he had at that time. So that's the van. No seats, no nothing. We just sat on the floor.
Wow. Yeah, you can only see it so good, but in real life you could see it looks like the highway bars are wrapped with something.
Yep.
Like there's some ribbon through the spokes.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like it, like you said, like it was in a parade,
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
And then a picture of my mom and dad.
Wow.
And they dressed up back then. They weren't, a lot of people think motorcycling and all that. And we have my mom's outfit up here, but they were dressed up. That's how they rode.
Yeah. Wow. It says 1938.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then going around, since my brother's 4 years older, he's an expert right now, and I'm 87. That is the first professional race I was ever in, and that was Santa Fe. So Santa Fe, it's a quarter mile track, oval track, and they never could get enough riders on the short track. So they let novice and amateurs and experts ride together.
Wow, how crazy is that, huh?
And for me, that was really good because I really learned how to ride because I was riding with experts.
Right.
And they put me in there, and I was Santa Fe chap as a novice.
cool.
Yeah, and the junior. That's what really helped me
Damn,
out.
so your first race was Santa Fe, man. You really like just hit the road and saw the whole country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
Very cool.
and then you can't hardly see underneath the light there next to the race picture.
Uh-huh.
They're at Kenosha Airport, not the one right here, but they had one more in town,
Mm-hmm.
a grass runway, and they're doing polo. They're kicking a ball
On motorcycles.
on motorcycles.
Oh my God.
So, okay, now,
Yeah.
so you have a foot clutch, hand shift,
Yep.
throttle here, brake here. They ride their road bikes. They would take anything off they thought would break and go play polo.
Wow, that is
And
so crazy.
these things are 61 cubic inch. They didn't have no lightweight bikes.
Right,
They were
right.
big, full-blown motorcycles.
Right, and springers.
Yes,
It's not like
yeah.
they were
No.
nice
Yeah.
suspensions
No.
or
rigid,
you know,
rigid
rigid
rear end.
frames. Yeah.
rear end and springer front end.
Wow, crazy.
And then as we go across, that was Kenosha Motorcycle Club, AMA Club, 1939, and the names are in red, is either on my mom's side or my dad's side
Okay.
in there.
Wow. This is definitely going to be the coolest YouTube video I've ever done.
So
This is quite the tour.
So I told you back that I felt we couldn't sell a Buick because our dealership wasn't up to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is 1990. We updated the dealership. In fact, the Buick's sitting right there, and that's Willie G and his wife Nancy, my mom, dad, myself, my wife Nancy, 1990. So we
Wow.
made the dealership where I felt we could put up a $14,000 motorcycle in there. So then we took
Wait,
the
so
Buick.
it was $14,000 in
I believe so.
1990?
I believe so. It was 12 to 14.
Wow.
That's why I said I could not put that in until we had a building that could sell a product like that, right?
Right.
I hate when you go in and buildings trash and they're trying to sell something like ungodly amount of money. I ain't doing by that. You got
Right.
a freaking shacky building.
Yeah.
You know, so I said no, we cannot do this until we have our building up to par, and then we'll sell the bike.
What, so let me ask you this. That bike you were trying to get $12,000 for back then.
I think 12 or 14 they sold retail.
What was like a Softail going for? Like 8,000?
A lot less, yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah. So I got to step back over there. So it got above the dressing room. So that's my cousins.
Wow.
My dad would drive out to their farm. You can see chickens there, tricycles. And every time my dad went out and visited them, he had to jump on a bike and go for a ride. And when my dad gave anybody a ride back then, he sat us. So when I was small, I sat on the gas tank all the time.
Wow.
Because he said if anything happened, you fall asleep, his arms are around you, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, I got a funny expression for people that grew up around motorcycles like yourself. I call them tank babies. You were a tank baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And that's how I did it.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, what do you say, Keith? I don't know. I feel very fortunate for all the time I got. I don't know.
This is great.
I feel like you ditched your sales team to do this tour. They're all down there doing their meeting.
Nah, not a problem.
This is, I guess, more fun, huh?
Yeah.
Sales meetings happen every day.
Yeah. No, we're good.
All right. Cool. So what does like a garage at home look like for you? Do you ride modern bikes now? Like,
Oh, yeah,
do you
yeah,
have a
yeah.
modern touring bike?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A 2023.
Yeah.
An Ultra.
Cool. Yeah. Did you keep a lot of the vintage stuff at your house too?
No, all here.
No. Okay.
It's all here. It's
Okay.
everything is here.
Cool.
Yeah. I got to put some stuff together. Then, but
Don't we all?
No, but it is all here. Let's go out on the balcony that give an idea of people why, like I said, that I'll never get landlocked again.
Oh yeah, cool. And they're out there racing
Yeah.
too. You guys will get an idea of what's going on out
Yeah,
here.
so I can.
As you can see too, there's a whole. You could hang out here, and they got the pool table upstairs. It's definitely a really fun dealership. Oh yeah, and then we got War Run going on. This is something else that you will never see at another dealer. This is awesome.
You know, I shouldn't be surprised, but it's getting dusty. I don't know how dirt tracks get dusty, but this is getting dusty. I guess I shouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. What are you gonna do after War Run? Are you gonna just leave the track up?
I have no idea. I might have to flip a coin. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. That is going to be a really hard decision because I tell you what, Jeremy put so much time. I mean, this track is a piece of art.
It really is.
I mean, I can't believe when he started building this thing and how much work he put into it and the shape that he has it in and what he has done. This is definitely a work of art. And
yeah.
I just don't know. I really don't know. That's a hard decision to make. And I really don't want to make that decision. To be honest. I know sometime I will have to, but right now I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, this is, I've raced on quite a few motocross tracks. This is nicer than most tracks I've ever raced on. I mean, it's a professional level track.
Yeah, you know what? I've already raced on less quality tracks, so that's awesome.
Yeah. This is so cool that we timed this too, that the race is going on.
I would think this is probably the main event for the afterwards, I would think.
Yeah. This is awesome. Very cool. So, did you get out there on a Mini also? Did you run the track once, or? I know when we were talking to the doctor.
I had the grandkids.
Yeah. I know.
I let him have my fun.
Yeah. Damn. So cool.
I tell you, them guys are going for it. JJ and I don't know who the other guy is.
Oh yeah, they're going for it. Oh, he bit it hard on that one.
Oh, another guy here. Where's the flag then?
Yeah, they should have a flag out there.
Yeah, he did that, but he did one over there. But these guys gave me a huge surprise today.
Yeah.
They gave me a boonie bike. We gotta take a picture of that.
Get out of here.
Yeah, they made a custom boonie bike for me. So before we end, we gotta take a picture of it.
Very cool. Was it a stout boonie bike? Do you remember?
It's a Kelly made it.
We'll take a picture of it.
Kyle made it.
We'll get a picture with it. Very cool, man.
No, it's not a stout. It's a homemade chassis.
Okay. I forgot your doctor's name, but when we were hanging out there with your doctor, you said your brain still feels like you're a kid, but the body doesn't. When did you actually stop even just playing around on racetracks? How old were you when you realized you gotta stop really fucking around?
Well, you know, it's actually why I stopped racing is I got tired traveling on the road.
Oh, okay.
If I could have a pick me up from one racetrack to the other one, I should probably still be doing it. Yeah. I got so bored going down the interstate, I couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, we started playing bumper tag at night with our vans.
Really?
We shut our lights off, go down the interstate, and play bumper tag.
Oh,
and we had
my
CB
God.
radio. You're at, go up. No, you're at, and tap your rear bumper.
God, you guys are
We're
fucking
so
crazy.
Well, the thing is, when you're going, you know, even down a half mile, you're going maybe 90 miles an hour. You jump in a vehicle, you're doing 70. It feels like you're doing like 30. It's not a big deal. It's no speed. You feel no speed. So I can remember one time we were going down Interstate 80 from one race to another race, and we all had our lights off, heading to the next race, playing bumper tag. a state trooper from the opposite way just went by, never stopped us. He ran afraid. These guys so crazy. Just let this go. But yeah, we would play bumper tag. So a regular person driving down the road, we go on a shoulder to go get the guy because you know you sneak up on him and had our lights shut off. Yeah, we played bumper tags on the interstate.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was fun.
That is wild.
I mean, but you race stops, but you don't stop. Your mind is still working so fast, it's unreal. So you got to do something.
Right.
Usually I never drove to races. I always drove off the races because I was so pumped up. But I wanted to rest before the race, so I never really drove to a race. But afterwards, you can't settle down.
Right.
You're so revved up.
Yeah.
You got to do something for entertainment, right? And you got all this metal around you. What else is going to happen? So what do you pay bumper tag?
Right.
But yeah, we used to do that.
Wild, man.
One of the crazy things we did.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say we wrap it up and you want to tell people where to reach you, or you know? Well, we'll go. Yeah, let's go inside. So the sound will be a little better. And yeah, we'll wrap it up. Tell people where to reach you and all that, and come down, buy a bike, new, used, whatever. Come on up and see him sometime. Yeah.
Yes, so we are at Ukes Harley Davidson in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And come on down, you cannot miss this place. We have a tower that's 60 foot tall. And if you drive by here and you don't see us, you have your eyes closed.
That's right.
Because we definitely made it so you could see this place day or night.
Yeah.
So stop in, take a picture of the tower, come in, say hi, and come in and buy your bike from us. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Keith, thank you so much for your time, and let's go take some cool pictures.
I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's grab a